Hello, welcome. In today's video we're talking about gratitude and specifically gratitude journaling. I have recently reached the milestone of doing 300 days of my gratitude journal. I use this little notebook to write my gratitude list in, and at the top of each page it says the day, and I noticed the other day that I was on day 300. So I thought I could make a video talking about my experience with gratitude journaling and why I think it might be something that could help you. It has been interesting, given that it's been 300 days of this, to just reflect on how my mindset has shifted, because at the beginning it did sometimes feel like I was writing my gratitude list just out of habit and I didn't necessarily feel grateful for the things that I was writing about. So I wanted to talk a bit about repetition and about acting the way you want to feel. I remember I got a comment on one of my videos, it might have been on the journaling video, about gratitude journaling, because I do talk about that in that video, or it might have been in my journaling for beginners video. Regardless, it was a comment that was saying that this person had tried gratitude journaling but it ended up being quite repetitive and they just ended up putting the same things on the list every day. And it got me thinking, because when I go through my gratitude journal, a lot of the things are similar, but I think there is power in that repetition. And as I say at the beginning, I was still trying to learn how to be grateful. And I think the way that you develop your ability to feel gratitude is by doing your list every day, even if you're putting stuff down and you're like, but I don't really feel grateful for this. Even if you're doing it out of just a sense of discipline or obligation, you're like, fine, I'll write this down because I should be grateful for it, but I don't feel it yet. But I think that's part of the process, in the same way that you need to sometimes act the way you want to feel. You know, discipline comes before motivation, and so you might not always have the motivation to act, but if you have structures in place, discipline, habits, you can still act in the way that you want to be. Basically fake it till you make it. I think there is power in that repetition. If you just say to yourself, I want to build this habit of gratitude journaling, and behind that I want to build this attitude of gratitude, I want to have a more grateful mindset. Look, this is a tiny notebook. There are there are maybe 20 lines? No, let me actually count it. There are 16 lines in this, and sometimes I will just write a couple words like yummy food, or TV show that I like that I'm grateful for, or a conversation with a friend. But sometimes it will take up a few lines writing about, oh, beautiful sunny day and I went for a walk and all of this, and that will take up a fair few lines. It takes like a minute to do this. It doesn't have to be a big thing, and so it is something that you can implement. And even if it is repetitive at the beginning, you will get to a point where everything starts to click. And not only then are you writing all these things to be grateful for, whether it's I'm grateful for my home, I'm grateful for food, I'm grateful that I had a warm shower today, I'm grateful for running water, grateful for my car, grateful for my phone, grateful for my laptop. While at the beginning you may just be writing that and being like, yeah, I should be grateful for all these things. Through repeating it, you will eventually get to a point where you feel grateful and like things start to happen then. And I think if you're someone who is creatively minded, you might be familiar with the process of when you are being creative, there comes a moment where everything clicks. So at the beginning you still feel like you're finding your idea. So for me, I like writing, and I might have an idea and I'm really focused on this idea. I think it's a good idea, there's something there, and I'll start writing. And it's only through the process of writing that I then reach that moment and have a light bulb moment where everything clicks. And I think the same thing happens with gratitude. You may, for a while, just be writing down the same things and being like, everyone says this gratitude journaling is a great thing to do, but I'm not finding any benefit from it. But if you keep going, you'll reach a point where suddenly everything clicks and you'll be like, oh, I am grateful for these things. It's not just I'm writing them down, like you will actually end up feeling the gratitude. I've talked before about how I think journaling has really helped me get some perspective. The same thing is true of specifically gratitude journaling, because if you've had a really bad day and you've said to yourself you're going to do your gratitude list at the end of the day, even if you've had a bad day, you still need to find things to be grateful for. And yes, I will admit that then those things tend to be the basic things that we outlined. So grateful for my food, running water, my bed. It will be basic things, but those things are still important to put on your list, and they will still, even if you've had a bad day, it will give you a little boost, because you'll be like, yes, these horrible things have happened, this was stressful, this was difficult to deal with, whatever it was that happened in the day, but you will still have a few little things to hold on to and be grateful for. So I think gratitude journaling is helpful for perspective as well. The other thing I would say, if you're struggling for things to put on the list, maybe think about a time in your life where you were worse off than you are now. This, I think, can be quite a difficult thing to talk about. I'm thinking of one particular instance where a very tragic event happened and other people heard about this and we were talking about it and they were like, oh, this tragic event happening, it really brings things into perspective for me. You know, I'm I'm really grateful for my life or for where I am right now. And I was just like, excuse me? What you're getting from this horrible thing happening is that you feel grateful. There's something wrong. To me, there's something wrong about that. So I'm not talking about like using other people's tragedy and being like, oh, look at their life, it's so much worse than mine. I have all these things to be grateful for. I think that's kind of a gross thing to do, and I can't really explain why. I'm thinking of this particular instance where I was like, it is ridiculously inappropriate for you to be talking like that. This is not something for you to look at and be like, oh yes, this was a lesson for me. It's like, no, this is a horrible thing that happened to someone else. This is not about you in any way. We should just be focusing on the horrible aspect of this, not on the fact that it can teach you something about your situation. Like, no. But I think definitely if you look at yourself, you can think of things that happened. Say you were in a worse position a year ago than you are now, you can be like, I'm now in a better place. So don't use other people's tragedies, but you can definitely use your own stuff and think, oh yeah, I used to be like that. If you're struggling for things to put on your gratitude list, are there things today that you are able to do that you weren't always able to do, but now you take them for granted? So I know for me, when I got this book, I had just got out of rehab. And in rehab, we weren't allowed to go anywhere. We went on a walk every day, and that was like my saving grace. I loved that time outside, even though it was only like, sometimes only 20 minutes, half an hour. The fact now that at any time I choose, I can just walk out the door and go for a walk. That's something I can put on my gratitude list because I didn't always have that freedom. So I think if you can look at your past situation and think, was I always able to, I don't know, put on makeup most days? Or maybe I didn't have a job before, or I didn't have all of these lovely things, or a new wardrobe, whatever it is. Flowers, do you always have flowers? I know it seems like in my last few videos that I always have flowers. I'm very grateful for these, my sister sent me them. But like, think of something that you have now that you didn't always have, and that can be something that you can put on your gratitude list. It's about mindset and perspective and trying to zoom out a bit and have a look at your life or look at your day and think, what do I have here to be grateful for? And I always feel weird talking about gratitude because we do have so much to be grateful for. The fact that you're watching this video, I'm able to make this video, there are a lot of privileges involved there that not everyone in the world has access to. But I know also it's hard when all of the people around you, or most of the people around you, that you interact with on a day-to-day basis also have those things. But again, we don't want to get into comparing to other people. I think that is problematic. I think in itself, you can say, I'm grateful for running water without having to put yourself above anyone else in terms of some people don't have safe running water. You can be grateful for it without having to compare yourself to someone else. I think if you keep it about you, your mental health, your emotional, spiritual journey, I think that is safer and more appropriate than comparing to other people, because that's their story and their life. It's funny looking back on this because it was also like a mini diary of the year or the last 300 days. The earliest one in here is Wednesday the 6th of April last year. If you're still struggling with things to put down on your gratitude list, let me just read you the first page of mine so you get an idea. Day 1, Wednesday the 6th of April 2022. Sobriety, Starbucks, laughs and connections, hugs, cute dogs, freedom to drive, safe anxiety-free day, Brooklyn Nine-Nine with dad, enjoyed reading earlier, feeling grounded and content, my cozy bed, yummy panini, planning games night for next Friday hopefully, cute outfit today, didn't rain when we were outside walking, yummy veggies and eggs for dinner. That's kind of like a diary of that day. Like from those details, I'm able to piece together who I saw, what happened, how I felt, what I was wearing. It's like a mini diary as well as just being a gratitude list. Some days are like that, but other days it is just a list of things like I'm grateful for my lunch, I'm grateful for my blankets, I'm grateful for light, my bed, tea, lovely flowers. It doesn't have to be anything big. You can just pick out bits from your day, and it doesn't matter if it's repetitive because I think there is power in that repetition. You act the way you want to feel, you keep going, and eventually it will all fall into place and you will get that realization of, oh, this is why everyone goes on about gratitude journaling, because it is actually life-changing. Please comment below your experience of gratitude journaling. Please give it a go if you've not tried it before. Just get yourself a blank notebook or just start writing in the notes app on your phone. Really doesn't matter. It could be something really helpful for you to explore. Let me know how you get on in the comments. God bless, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.